Mr. Jamiu Bello. I may like to know where are you coming from?
I'm a peace ambassador from Gimbiya Foundation.
Yeah, I saw your colleague, Miss Abigel.
Yes, sir.
You are all welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, what is peace building?
Uh, Peace building actually, generally, or in a simple term, is a means or medium of promoting peace in our environment, ensuring that we live in harmony, irrespective of the tribe, irrespective of the race, irrespective of the color of skin. Our aim is to, encourage individuals to live in harmony and to ensure that we we avoid anything that will result into rift that will cost us the peace in our environment.
Yeah, so getting what you earlier said, you said, I did not hear you mention issue of difference of religion, religious difference.
Yes, it's also a factor that will cause us peace because we have different faith. We have different faith, and it is very important that we take note that irrespective of what you believe in, as neighbors, we should live together in peace. Because I'm very certain that there is no religion that preach against, that preach against peace. So it's very important we keep that in check.
Miss Abigail,
Yes,
what
sir.
is conflict?
Okay, I would love to say that conflict is anything that can cost us our peace, individually or even as a community. So I would say conflict is an inevitable aspect of human interaction. So it could be between two people, it could be within yourself. That brings us to different types of conflicts. We have intra-conflict. We have that intra-conflict, like, okay, what do I wear today? What do I eat today? Every day we see conflict. It is inevitable. It could be inter-conflict between two people, between two communities, like the religious conflict we're talking about, religious act of peace we're talking about. There could be religious conflict too, as long as there is mutually incompatible interest. What you want is different from what I want, it brings about conflict.
Yeah, thank you. Now, as ambassadors, Mr. Jamiu Bello, what are the methods of conflict resolution, if I may ask?
Well, conflict resolution have different methods and approach, and whichever we have to first assess which one will work for kind of conflict we are trying to resolve. And one of it is that there is need to first analyze the conflict in its own self. What is the root cause of the conflicts? What are the people conflicting about? And who are the people that are involved in this conflict? Then we'll seek negotiation to talk about it. Is it based on religious affairs? Is it based on a certain interest in community? Could it be political or any other thing at all? So these factors, once evaluated, will not give us a direction into, okay, this is what is, maybe we need to negotiate. Let's see, okay, can you fit this part of the deal? Can you also fit this part of the deal? So if I thought that the person, these two people are not able to mutually agree on a conclusion, then we will now bring in a third party. This third party could be government agencies or could be an organization like us where we meddle and look at, okay, what can we do to make that peace reign among this group of persons or individuals.
Thank you. My sister Abigail,
Yes, sir.
what is the negotiation and listening techniques that at least one can apply in order to make sure that peace is maintained in our societies?
Okay, we have different techniques that we can use. He has outlined some in when he was talking about the method for conflict resolution. But first, let us even understand what negotiation means. It's a means of resolving a conflict whereby both parties make themselves available to understand each other's interest and how they can actually resolve it satisfactorily without escalating beyond that particular level. Now we have different ways. Prepare yourself. If you want to negotiate, you must be ready to partake in difficult conversation. You must be ready to deal with difficult conversation because conflict has to do with difficult conversation. Yes, conflict does not have to always end violently. I should state that. If negotiation is done properly, it will not escalate beyond that level. But if it is not done properly, that's where you go to mediation that he mentioned. However, you have to first, I said, understand the conflict. Prepare yourself. Your mind is prepared. Look, I'm ready to do difficult conversation. No matter what this person says, I'm not going to get angry. And then, fine, we understood this conflict first. But also know that, okay, I will make up my mind that while negotiating, my relationship must not be severe with this person. It must always end badly. Now, after understanding the conflict, and then since I'm ready to deal with difficult conversation, okay, now you state your interest, I state my interest. We are going to strategies. We have different strategies: collaboration, cooperation. So people take avoidance. That means they don't even want to resolve the conflict at all. They don't even want to talk about it, which is the worst way to resolve conflict. And some you want to take strategy of accommodating. When you say collaborating, okay, let's come together. Okay, you bring part of interest, you're going to meet it in the middle. So also we can still call that a way of cooperating too. Accommodating, okay, this does not fit me well, but okay, I can still let this part of me go.
Someone
so that
exactly
I'm willing to sacrifice for you. And then if at the end of the day negotiation doesn't work, we go to mediation. However, active listening, if you will negotiate, you have to be ready to listen to what the other person wants to say. Because if you don't listen, you will not understand the other person's perspective. And perspective is one of the reasons why we have conflict today. We always feel we are right. And once you feel you are right, there is no way you would allow the other person feel right. But once you calm down to listen to the other person and understand the angle the person is coming from, it will be easy to negotiate at that point. It will be easy to accommodate the person. It will be easy to collaborate. It will be easy to employ any strategy you need at that point. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, Ambassador Jamiu and Abigel, who do you think are the actors of peace destabilization in our society?
Okay, talking about that, there is a whole lot to in terms of societal what's it called, misunderstanding or conflicts. In fact, parenting is one of those factors that play a role. There is an incident that happened recently in an environment where I lived. It was an issue that has to do with a religious thing. This guy was reported to have come to the masjid during the time for breaking fast to request for pap with cutlass, stating if they did not give him pap, he's going to machete people around. And the parent are aware of this situation. There is even a scenario before that. They went and built him. It's the kind of giving the parent, the child support to continue doing what he's doing. So parenting is very, very important, and our religious leaders to have a role to play. There is a kind of preaching that it's very, very important. We must do them and make sure that while doing them we make clarity, such that we don't breed envy in the midst and in the minds of the people that are listening. Okay, you preach about your religion, don't accommodate the other thing, and the parents are people that need to play a role. And one of this is that if we are to have these people actively participate in programs like this, there is a way they can help curb these incidents that will lead to conflicts. So it is very important, and youths, just like our foundation advocate for youth and women, youth and major group of people, in fact, they are major actors in conflict. Exactly. Because you see the other side to run. It's always youth. So that is why we have it a kind of concern. If youth are really the leaders of tomorrow, we need to address these issues. And youth, one major thing that will result into youth engaging in issues like this one, causing conflicts in their environment, or engaging in fight or rift, is that there is need for active engagement. Idleness is also a factor.
Exactly.
There's the statement that says an idle hand is the devil's workshop.
Yeah.
So when you are idle, your mind gets engaged with a lot of other things, and you feel the next thing you think of is how to get those things. You cannot work hard to get, and that way there's no way you're going to achieve those things without inconveniencing people, and to inconvenience them, you have to cause a conflict.
Exactly.
So it's very important. The youth need to engage. Religious leaders to address issues, time to time in their organizations. Parents need to pay close attention to the kind of group of friends their children keeps, the engagement outside how their children have. So it is very important. When everybody take part in this role, then we can have a peace community.
It's like Abigail wanted to add tip and say something.
Yes, actually said part of that I wanted to say. Yeah, they said if you don't train your child at home, the community will train your child for you. That's another thing. So if parents do not play their role well, there are already established social vices existing in the community that your child can free pick at any point and at any time. So that's actually I'm trying to build on his point of parenting. It is very, very, very key. And then if we have structures in the community that frowns against things that causes conflict, that deprives of us of this peace, I think it will really help. If it can be enforced, we have laws, but most of them are not being enforced. You see, just as case you say that someone who was arrested for causing conflict and at the end of the day is released, definitely if not cautioned or looked after, he will come back again and do the same, or he will do worse. He will do worse. So our community should be strong in a way that will promote peace and frown against conflict ending negatively.
It should be a kind of penalty for people who disrupt the peace of people in the society.
Exactly.
Now, Sister Abigail.
Yes, sir.
The roles of individuals in conflict.
Yeah, thank you. It's just like continuing this question. Now, every human being, as long as you're around the vicinity where a conflict arises, you play a role, whether you say a word or not. Actually, it is divided into four. You are either a target, that is the person the conflict is targeted at, or the aggressor, the person melting it out, the person causing the conflict, or you're an ally. Ally actually is broken into ally or confronter. Ally, you could be the one supporting the aggressor, that is the melter, the giver of the aggression, yes, the conflict, or you be the supporter of the target. That means like, okay, don't worry, everything will be fine. Or you be a confronter. This confronter now is with the target addressing the aggressor, what he or she has done. And finally, we have the bystander, people that will be like, this one no concern you. I don't want to put my head in what does not concern me. We've had cases of people who come to separate people from fighting, and at the end of the day, their head gets broken, or they die even in the course of addressing such conflict. Now we are actually talking about conflict that is already violent. So we all play a role, in as much as we can't totally avoid being targets, because conflict is inevitable, and people can get angry at you for no reason at all. That is just especially with the condition of things in the world right now. So you may not be able to totally avoid being a target, but as much as you can, please don't be the aggressor. Don't be the one giving out violence. Yes, don't be the one dishing out wickedness or hatred or bias or stereotype or insulting. Don't be the aggressor. And then if you are not any of these two, you are either the ally or confronter. So please align with what is correct. You know that this person is wrong. Don't, because of your relationship or the favor you will get from that person, now support what is wrong. And that's the case we have, because eye service, the people we choose to support what is bad because of their personal interest. So if you're going to be an ally, support what is right. And if you're going to confront with knowledge and confront wisely, so that at the end of the day, you're not going to use your head to carry what you do not bargain for. If you're going to divide two people fighting, do it wisely. And lastly, bystander. In as much as it is not good to just if I go and put my head in what does not concern me, at the end of the day, how will you feel if you go back and realize that somebody lost his life in a place that you would have done something to stop or attend to? as we don't want you to be biased. And if the case is you would lose your life or it's a threat to your life, you can step back and call someone that can handle that kind of situation. So yes, a security officer. Anywhere you see peace being disturbed, you play one of the show. So you choose wisely which one to play. And if you cannot play any of the first three, in as much as you will not be a bystander, call someone who can play a role effectively.
All right, I would like to add to her point. One of the things that needed to be addressed, or that is one of the key things we need to do as an individual person, is to address our mindset. There's this stereotyping where we get the notion that people that come from this particular tribe, they are born with this kind of trait or this kind of character. So, peradventure, we have not even had experience or engaged with them. But the kind of information that has been registered in our mind has prevented us from seeing the positive side of them. So oftentimes we prevent people from enjoying benefits that they merit based on the fact that we have an information concerning the tribe they come from, or the language they speak, or the color of their skin. So it begins with individual by trying to address this mindset to avoid prejudice, avoid scapegoating, blaming the other person for one's fault. You also have to avoid stereotyping. You have to avoid bullying. It's even common in our primary school and secondary schools where the senior ones take advantage of their younger ones. So we need to address this right from our house. So we all have a role to play. The organization that are involved, the individual persons in society, the mindset to be addressed. And once we're able to do this, then we'll see that we definitely have an environment that is free of conflict, and then we all live peacefully.
Thanks for all your efforts. But if I may ask that, you need to tighten up, because I may be if I may ask, there are some of our religious leaders that used to preach where they touch, or even where at least is not even supposed to mention, or they try to cause more problem. And if there are such issues, do you still have the confidence to approach this kind of people in order to see, yes, they understand that what they do or what they say is wrong?
Exactly. Yes, sir. I'm talking about that. That is why when my colleague was making a statement, I added that we need to, like the religious leaders need to play a role. And when we found them that they are one causing this, we need to involve necessary authorities. And I added that there is need for penalty. There is a statement also that where there is law, there is crime. So it's where there is no law, there is no crime. So we need to state it. Let it be clear that, okay, if you are irrespective of your status, there should always be disciplinary action against you, against people who are involved in certain offenders. Thank you very much, sir. So if we don't just lay down rules, but we also implement them, and some persons have been cited as scapegoat, as an example, others will learn, and definitely they can adjust their way of dealing with people in addressing issues in public. It is very important. Sir, it's not everybody that have the skill of public speaking. Sometimes we just want to talk and be heard. We are not conscious of what we dish out from our mouth. So it's also applicable to religious leaders. It doesn't make them perfect, but we need to also perhaps engage them in discussion like this so that they can get much more aware and adjust their way. So, and when they are not adjusting, like I've said, authorities need to be take over. They need to take control, such that these people need to be called to order and they must agree. I know our country, when we are kind of, someone once said, all of us, we are political animals. It's only when something escalates that when an action is taken that people get to realize, oh, this, or had I known, something you could have avoided from the onset. So we need to make rules and stick to those rules and make sure it's implemented, and we follow up to see how are people doing it. So just like a program like this, we've done step down before now. So it is very important that we reach out to those people and see how oftentimes there's need to take assessment before program like this to see what is the people's perspective over issues surrounding conflict and peace. So after the engagement, we also need to assess to see what is now their perspective. Have they shift from what they used to know to what is presently being taught, to see the impact. So it is very much important to do a continuous evaluation. for program like this to keep everybody in check, such that we'll see, okay, yes, we really make an impact. We are not just here to air and to talk. We also want to see that people are taking this into action. People are changing their views, their mindset, and all of that.
Okay, what are your call to actions, especially to young people in society? Concept peace.
Okay, I would say one of the things you should go for is information. Just like what we are doing here, exercising, and it helps open the mind. As my colleague said earlier, that you should work on your mindset. As a youth, you should first tell yourself that a peaceful society, a peaceful community is achievable if I play my path, if I play my path, that everyone plays a role. So you as a youth, as much as you know to avoid being retired, tell yourself that, okay, I will not be an aggressor. I will not be the reason why peace is lacking in my community, some conflicts in my community. And then, if you must align with anybody, tell yourself as a youth that, okay, I am not the aggressor in this part. I will only be an ally to what is correct. I will frown and confront what is bad, but I will confront with knowledge. That's why I said information, be informed. And definitely, don't be a bystander. If you cannot do it, call a mediator. That person you call will serve as a mediator. This person is going to give room for a constructive conversation between both parties. Now, there's no more exchange. Even if you're exchanging law before, the moment a mediator is someone who is expected to be mature. You as a youth, if you cannot be a mediator immediately, call someone to mediate at that point, to bring about peace again in that community. At least when both parties get to talk, they get to understand each other's perspective, then they can go move to something called the 4A's. One person will accept fault, or one person will accept their fault. The other person then they will acknowledge their fault first, then acknowledge that they are wrong. Isn't it? Acknowledge your fault, accept that you're wrong, and thirdly, you appreciate each other's perspective. And fourthly, you apologize. The moment I can appreciate where you are coming from, your point of view, I'll be able to see that where I may not be right and apologize. So keeping this in mind, you as a youth, you'll be able to serve as a mediator or know what to expect from someone who should mediate. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you for having